Hello and welcome to the next instalment of our A to Z videos on general podiatric conditions and complaints, and today is the turn of T and we will be covering toes. Now, as you can imagine, in podiatric practice, toes make up a large portion of what we see, and so there are many different things that can go wrong with them. And toes have nails on them and they can have their own set of problems. You get ingrown toenails, fungal nails and thickened and deformed nails, but we have covered those already. So moving on to actual toes, the biggest one that we see is obviously bunions, and I will cover those separately, not today. The lesser toe deformities are what we're talking about today, and you can get some very rare ones. You can get something called polydactyly, which is where you actually are born with an extra toe. Now obviously this is quite rare, not many people have it, and most people will get it removed quite early on in life. You can also get syndactyly, which is where the toes are joined together or webbed. Now this isn't very common, but I do see some incomplete syndactylys in clinic where the toes are joined part way up, so there is a gap between the ends of the toes, but there is skin joining them in between there as well. As I say, not very common, not many people have it. The most common things we see are the mallet toes, hammer toes and claw toes. Now, what is the difference between all of these? Well, a mallet toe is where it's the end joint here that actually gets deformed and bends down, and you get a lot of pressure on the end of the toe. A hammer toe is where it's the middle joint and the toe ends up like that, so a lot of pressure on the top, and you can get some pressure underneath, but it's mainly on the top there. And a clawed toe is where the toe is retracted back at the joint on where it joins to the foot, and both of these joints here are actually curled round, and that can cause problems throughout the whole of the toe. These are quite common. Hammer toe is often seen in conjunction with a bunion, so that is something to be mindful of. And there can be many causes of this. Footwear obviously contributes to this. If you're wearing tight, restrictive footwear, that will contribute to lesser toe deformity. But it can be arthritic conditions, it can be nerve damage, especially with diabetes, we see that quite a lot. But basically it is an imbalance of the muscles where the ligaments and the tendons will actually pull tighter to pull the toe under, whether that's from any of the joints there, and it's because of this muscle imbalance. Now you can get rigid and you can get flexible. If it's flexible, we can do some treatment, we can do toe props, we can do some mobilization of the joint to try and stretch it back out again and give you some exercises to do as well. If it is a rigid or a fixed deformity, unfortunately surgery would be your option there. But you do have to be wary of these. You can get corns and calluses on the exposed joints, as I say, on the tip or any of these joints, or in a clawed toe you can get it underneath the foot as well because of the clawed toe. And you can get ulceration as well, especially in diabetes. So it is something to be very mindful of. If you have a lesser toe deformity and you would like it looked at to see if there's anything we can do, contact your local podiatrist and we may be able to help with that. In the meantime, remember to keep an eye on NK Sports Podiatry's Facebook page for their A to Z of common podiatric conditions for MSK. And any questions, comments or queries, feel free to pop them in the comments or message me directly.